I know that when you saw the title of this video, one game came to mind. So why do you still play it? Even after you change your third monitor? Well, it's because you're addicted. Dedicated. It's because you're dedicated. I decided to rank all the games I'll be talking about on a scale of how likely they are to break your desk. 1 being a hole and 10 being no more desk. And what better games to start with than the well-known trilogy of Soul games have you kneeling down crying after hours and hours of grinding, only to reach a boss you just can't beat. But why do we love to put ourselves through this torture, apart from being some kind of masochist? It's actually rooted in the way we perceive challenge. See, the thing with Soul games is that they all have the same game loop. Spawn, loot, fight, upgrade, boss fight, die, learn mistakes, die, learn patterns, win. The difficulty is tied to learning. Dying teaches patterns, timing, and builds, and beating a boss feels amazing. Players can't stop because beating the next obstacle feels so good. The motivation comes from knowing it's your own fault when you lose. If I can be faster, memorize the patterns, or do this or that, I can beat it. Never once does it cross your mind to take a break and go shower, or realize the game is made like this. And don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant design, but it works like slots. Every try could be your lucky jackpot. Only here, it's more addictive, because you know you're in control. You never blame the game for your losses, only yourself. Mix that with sheer motivation to beat a boss, and you got hundreds of hours in game. Miyazaki and From Software designed death to teach and motivate, which feeds a feeling of progress. Bosses, weapons, talismans, and new areas are rare, but huge. These big rewards after hard effort make you want to keep playing. The open world lets players avoid frustration spots by exploring elsewhere. But they usually come back, spending even more time. This keeps challenge alive without burning people out. Beating a boss doesn't mean you just won. It means you're the best, because now you can go to your friends and flex about it. Quitting feels like abandoning the story. Players often describe Souls games as emotional training and building resilience, which is crazy honestly. The funny thing is, you beat the hardest boss, equip its loot, and realize it sucks. Then you ask yourself, how the f did it do so much f***ing damage? I'll rate Souls games together, and they get an 8 out of 10 on the frustration scale. And if you think Souls games are the most addictive and hard, then you've never played multiplayer, because there's a new king in town, Marvel. If you've never heard of it, I'm sorry I'm the one who's filling you in here, but it's basically like Overwatch. Actually, it's literally like Overwatch. But the Chinese decided to improve it in ways everyone else was too afraid to, by implementing Marvel Rivals mixes our favorite movies with our favorite websites, creating the worst gaming experience with the best visuals. The game doesn't innovate, it's all the basic TF2, capture the mission area and move the payload, but in this case, it's made with Marvel characters, so that makes it very cool. The biggest issue here is matchmaking. Lobbies swing from I'm carrying 40-0 to I die instantly. They decided not to implement skill-based matchmaking and instead use engagement-based matchmaking, which honestly, why would you do that? So if I said Souls games were like slots, Marvel Rivals is the Wheel of Fortune of slots. Developers always try to explain themselves when I see them online. I'm not gonna complain because this is the only game where I can find a match in 1 to 3 seconds, which is insane. And there's always moments of amazing win streaks and great matches, but I like to compare it to cocaine. Because at first it's great, but then it sucks, and for some reason you still do it. Matchmaking uses engagement signals to vary difficulty, and that variability acts like a variable ratio, where a behavior is reinforced after an unprecedented number of responses, leading to a high and steady rate of responding. In other words, literal slots, only now I need a new desk. Marvel Rivals, for me, gets a 9 out of 10 on the frustration scale, and that's just because I know how good the game could be. Another legendary frustrating game on my list is a first-person shooter we all know, CSGO. No, I'm not talking about CS2. I mean CSGO, specifically between 2017 and 2019. For those of you too young to experience it at that time, or too old because you had to get an actual job and put the games down, this was the golden age. Gambling skins on my phone in grade school and waking up my dad at 2 AM because I was screaming at a guy half around the globe. That's what I used to live for. And CSGO doesn't have an addiction coded in, but it inspires rage. I mean, full hellfire rage when you get matched with players who ruin everything, because you're gonna D-rank.
I just got mollied.
I was getting bullied so much in school because I was still silver, but it's fine. I never got past that. CSGO swings between frustration and euphoria. Valve uses a hidden elo system, which is actually smart because you don't really know what you can get mad at them for. And unlike Marvel Rivals, players don't know if they're improving or getting held back. And when I get a 30 kill match and don't rank up, you bet I'll be flipping this desk. Valve introduced later on Premier Mode to provide a more serious, skill-based and transparent experience. But Premier vs Normal is like sitting in the front or the back of a Wizz Air flight. You're still screwed. Rounds, economy and clutch potential make every moment high stakes. One round can change everything. And clutches give social recognition, often recorded and shared. That 1v3 I pulled 7 years ago, everyone still talks about it. What makes CSGO so engaging is that the skills to play it takes years to master. The learning curve is so steep and improvement is slow but clear. The game supports identity. This is why players tend to stick to the same weapons over the years, or at least your teammate says that when he begs for an op. I'd like to compare it to a football match where people still go and see their favorite teams even after they lost so many times. There's a culture embedded into CSGO, which makes players compare themselves to pros. The problem here is that you're not watching a game, you're playing it. So why the f do you decide to go and ninja defuse that bomb just because you saw it on a stream a couple days ago? This game gives valid reasons to hate it and to crash out. But I love CSGO, not CS2. So I'll rate it an 8 out of 10 on the destroy my desk scale. And the final game I want to talk about is a game that I somehow hate without having ever played it. That's the next title video, by the way. Games I never played but hate. Only one game can do this. Drum roll, please. I played like 3 matches of League actually, including the tutorial, after my friend begged me for about a month. Apart from bad gameplay, sorry League fans, I just find it boring, but lots of people love it, then hate it. I've never heard of a worse experience than hopping in, losing 4 or 5 matches in a row, and then getting told to key yourself by some locksmiths. League's community is infamous for toxicity, flaming, and constant arguments. Combine that with a win-lose streak, and you get to buy a new desk. The ranking system also plays a huge role. It gives you measurable progress, but dynamic matchmaking can take it away in an instant. You almost climb, lose LP, and suddenly you're chasing your progress again. Add social pressure from your friends, team routines, and group expectations, and you end up uninstalling the game. Then for some reason you reinstall it, which I never understood. Why the f do you guys do that? And even if you don't play League, you're affected if you watch your buddy rage on Discord. That's what I call second-hand engagement loop. Seeing someone's streaks, tilt, and desperate attempt to fix their win rate is entertaining and emotionally engaging, and almost gets you hooked onto League. Unlike Souls games or CSGO, where skill can feel like it truly matters, League is often outside your control. 1 minute you're carrying, the next your team is having a seizure. Your own efforts only sometimes align with success, which makes the moments of victory feel earned, but defeats feel random and rage-inducing. And I really wanted to narrow down how League players can say they hate this game so much but still play it. And one answer I got from my randomized sampled control group is, and I quote, "Do you know how it feels to ult and get a 5 kill streak?" No, I don't. And I never will, because I'm never touching League again. Another thing I noticed about League players is that they love to come to you and show you this website where you basically see how many hours you've played, and it calculates how many books you could have read and how many movies and all these types of metrics. And for some reason it's very impressive for them to show you this and they feel very proud of it. But then if you ask how the game is, they say it's ass. And I must say, if they made a first-person League game, I'll probably be addicted to that too, so. But for the time being, I'll just stick to watching Arcane. So, I will rate League a 10 out of 10 on the frustration scale. And that's just because it deserves it. Game design isn't always used to guide players or create something beautiful. Sometimes it's used to torment the souls of innocent children. In this case, most games depend on teammates you have to work with, but positioning, character abilities, and environmental design can all play a key role in how games can keep you engaged for hours. Before I leave, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from my last video. I've actually gotten a bunch of new followers here, so thank you so much for subbing and for the great comments you left me. If you would like to see more videos like this, leave a comment on what subjects I should touch. I'm currently working on some game jams that I'll be filming. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, leave a sub. I'll be trying to post more often, and I'll see you around.